What is the most disrespectful thing that someone has done in your home? A babysitter stole my vibrator and blocked my calls. Like really? Why would you want someone else's vibrator? Maybe it was a horny 16-year-old who couldn't buy herself one. But that's still beyond disgusting and horrible. At that age they might not be considering how horrifying that is, though. They gon' have some real cringy memories. I rented a room to someone I knew since I was 12. He was using and selling H from my house. I found out and told him to GTFO. He was too lazy to use the bathroom and pissed in bottles. I didn't know. Threw the piss all over the room before he left. Carved swastikas in my kid's bunk bed I was letting him use. Had a drunk party-goer attempt to do pull-ups from the planks of my old ranch-style ceiling just beneath the heater vent and ended up pulling down a large portion of my ceiling. Refused to pay for it? Please tell me you called cops. Constantly unplugging electronics. First it was the thermostat, she didn't like the sound the water heater made, then the Wi-Fi, the CIA was snooping on her, and finally my fridge, she was saving the environment. If anyone unplugged my fridge I would gently guide them to the door, nudge them out and never talk to them again. I did ask her to leave. She had gone through my things and taken my ex's lease agreement, called the police and claimed she lived there, my house. What happened after that? Did they believe her or did they not get tricked by her bullshiz? Buddy from college was traveling through town and stayed with my wife and I for the weekend. Nothing crazy, hung out and remembered our college years. A few days after he left my guest bathroom reeked. Took a bit to figure out but finally discovered an upper decker left for us. Disgusting. As in he shat in the tank? Why? After a presumably pleasant visit? Like what is the thought process here? Revenge. A shizty, pun intended, prank? He must have known that you would figure out he did it? Have you talked to him since? One night the girls who lived in the apartment across the hall brought a friend with them to hang with us. As soon as she walked in she screamed, "This will be hilarious. College guys always get the shizty, hand-me-down dishes from their parents." She walked into the kitchen and began pulling out pans and dishes and howling about how old and ratty they were. Our friends were mortified. When they tried to talk to her she talked louder. After 30 seconds of this lunacy my roommate and I told her to leave. She threw a giant fit and called us assholes. My wife's cousin was staying at our house because he is going through marital problems. One night I woke up in the middle of the night and I heard some change rattling. He walks down the hall with my 5-year-old's piggy bank. He was taking money from my fudging daughter's piggy bank to buy beer and smokes. And that's when you understood where the marital problems came from. We invited a group of people over for lunch. One of them arrived, put a bunch of food on a plate in a plastic container, and left to bring it to eat with her boyfriend. Edited as my memory comes back. Edit 2, I'm told she came back in and grabbed 2 beers from the fridge, which is when everyone realized what was going on. This one fudging infuriates me. Yeah, it was all the more staggering as we hardly knew them, and had graciously invited them in. No one quite realized what had happened until she left. We were all too astonished. When I was a kid I invited a friend over and she tried to trap and suffocate my new kittens in a box. My mom made a huge dinner for my aunt and cousins. They showed up 2 hours late, told my mom, "Oh sorry, the boys can't eat that much right now," and just went in our fridge and made them sandwiches instead. Intruded in a homemade family dinner uninvited and then insulted my cooking. Didn't get a thank you either. Not my home, but I was renting a house and the landlady kept turning up unannounced and would let herself in, and would give the key to people doing work on the house without telling us, so without warning, have strangers let themselves into the house. It was a very stressful way to live. Very stressful, and if you live in the States, also very illegal. Depends on the state. Legal in North Carolina. Illegal in Florida. In the US, also a good way to get some hapless worker shot. Started opening all the drawers in my room. TF. Why would they do that? I really don't understand people that have no boundaries. Video game protagonist. Some of my favorite games are the ones that say you find X, Y, and Z, but it really doesn't matter because it's very impolite to look through other people's stuff. Or illegal. It was after an awful spinal surgery I went through when I was 12. They were cousins and my parents caught them trying to steal my painkillers. Now that's just chisty. Yeah. Worst part is I was really good friends with their son. So I was confused when they stopped coming around entirely. Didn't learn until a few years later what. It was at a birthday party of mine, and the entire family pretty much caught them. So they weren't at family event really ever again. How were they caught? Pills in hand, or had they already taken them? Not house but apartment in college. Roommate invited a bunch of people over one night. We each had our own bathroom, clearly marked. I go to get something from my room and hear obvious fudging in my bathroom. I knock on the door and say, "Wrong one, get the fudge out." After they came out I saw that they had cleaned themselves up on my nice white towels. Apparently she was on her period. See, this is where I'd bring the towels out into the common room and demand the roommate or the fudgees reimburse me. I am not above public shaming. Dude crapped his pants while sitting on my couch playing a video game and just sat there finishing the match. We were having an old-fashioned LAN party and the entire room cleared out. It's really not a true LAN party until someone shiz themselves tbh. Only the Ogs will know. Yeah, it is the old strategy of making your opponent forfeit the match. We used to have to use all the tools available at a LAN party. Somebody left small children in our house while they went to the grocery store. Friend must have seen me once put in the code for my spare key lockbox, and I came home to her in my fudging house. Mind you, we're not close. Her excuse: she had to go to the toilet. Safe to say, I reset that shiz and didn't invite her over anymore. Weirded me out. I was a kid, my mom had a friend and her son over. They were over for a couple hours and just as they were leaving I noticed all of my video games were gone. I told my mom. She goes, grabs his backpack, and of course they were all in his bag. His mother immediately came to his defense, saying he's got a lot of games and must have thought they were his. It didn't even make sense and she acted as if nothing had happened. Anyway, terrible mother, kid had no chance. He is now in jail for life, no parole, for shooting and killing a cop during a cocaine bust. Someone fudging broke my Super Smash Bros. For THR GameCube. Capital punishment is the only reasonable response. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind Redditor. Make it slow.